Coming up next on Arizona Horizon, a look at the U.S. government's targeting of journalists and the free flow of information, an update on the new dam ready to be constructed at Tempe Town Lake, and a look at the latest advancements in border security technology. Those stories next on Arizona Horizon.
Arizona Horizon is made possible by contributions from the Friends of Eight, members of your Arizona PBS station. Thank you.
Good evening and welcome to Arizona Horizon. I'm Ted Simons. The Committee to Protect Journalists is teaming with Bloomberg News tonight to present a panel discussion on the U.S. government's increasing threats to the press. The public forum will be held at ASU's Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communication. Former Washington Post executive editor and current ASU professor Leonard Downey Jr. is on tonight's panel, and he's with us tonight. Good to see you again.
Nice to see you.
This is a forum that addresses what?
The increasing problems that American news media are having covering issues of national security. It's twofold. One is that the Obama administration has essentially declared war on leakers. Even though the president promises to be the most open administration in history, it has not been. Anybody who leaks classified information to the press, in their view, is investigated. There are lie detector tests. In some cases, there have been prosecutions under a seldom used 1917 Espionage Act. So far, 8 different sources of information have been prosecuted under that. A New York Times reporter is under subpoena with the threat that he'll go to prison if he doesn't testify against one of these people who's being prosecuted. Now comes along the revelations of the NSA surveillance and the question of whether or not journalists and their sources are subject to that surveillance as well.
So we're talking to 8 prosecutions for leaks. I think I read only 3 in the entire history of the country?
Only 3 in 90 years from 1917 until the Obama administration, and 8 of them since 2009.
So if these folks are being prosecuted for leaks, what kind of information is being leaked?
Well, it depends on the prosecution. But in one case, for instance, it was questions about whether or not the NSA was spending too much money on surveillance techniques that weren't working, for example. Now, we call that whistleblowing in the newspaper business, and we think that's important information for the American public to have.
How do you differentiate between whistleblowing and leaking classified information that might better be kept classified?
Well, the first thing is there's way too much information has been classified. Way too much. And the president said that too, but he hasn't done anything about it. So that, for instance, in the revelations by Private Chelsea Manning, the documents that were turned over to the media, a lot of what was classified in there were newspaper articles and diplomatic cables. You know, they're not supposed to be secret. They never were secret. So there's a lot of stuff that shouldn't be classified. Then the question is, and this is for editors to decide and for news producers, television producers to decide, is when there is information that is injurious to national security. And by and large, the news media is very good about not publishing that, not putting it on the air. But what we do need to be doing is bringing to the attention of American people those activities by our government that people should have some say in.
And again, in researching this, in the Yemen terrorist plot, we had classified Israeli information disclosing names of CIA agents. I know some would say, I want to keep that classified. You're saying it's up to the press to determine whether or not that should be classified?
Yes. The one thing you mentioned is definitely against the law. It's against the law to identify or publish the names of covert CIA agents. And in that case, even though that's what the person was originally prosecuted for, it's not that didn't really happen in the way the government alleged. They just wanted to stop that particular person from talking generally about problems in the CIA to the press. And that's the problem, is that what the government's doing is using these kinds of laws and all of our agreements that you should not publish information that's harmful to national security as a cover for trying to protect things that are embarrassing or politically problems.
So just to make clear, because as folks will be watching this, they'll be saying, I don't want to know about America's attempts to undermine Iran's nuclear plan and these sorts of things. What you're saying is there are limits to the free flow of information, but the limits are way past what the Obama administration is doing right now.
Yes, yes. And for instance, in the case of the attempts to gum up the works in the
Yes.
Iranian nuclear program, this was in fact already out because somebody had done something wrong, and as a result, this virus had gone out around the world, causing all kinds of trouble. Instead of being confined to the covert operation against Iran, and so that's really what the reporting was about. It wasn't revealing anything that the Iranians didn't already know.
Right, right. Is this a reflection on the changing nature of the media, with blogs out there, with everyone and their brother seeming to run some sort of information portal out there? Is that, could that be why this is changing?
It's changing in a variety of ways. Yes, the media is becoming more fragmented. There's not this kind of central control that would occur when there were a few big newspapers and a few big television networks. And so everybody has more access to information, but it's also about the technology. And it's about the technology on both sides. Edward Snowden was able to use technology to bring to public attention all kinds of information that normally you wouldn't be able to get out of the system. And on the other hand, the news media is becoming more adept at using technology to find things.
Yeah, and they're finding things. Can we trust those in power? You used to be able to trust folks like you, as you mentioned, to sit there and figure out whether or not this is injurious, as you said, to the country. Can we still trust folks out there?
I have not seen any examples yet of information that's been made public that is truly injurious to either human life or national security.
You mentioned NSA and surveillance. How much were journalists targeted? Big time here? What'd you see there?
We don't know is the answer, because the metadata collection is collecting everybody's phone records. Now, we do know in some of the prosecutions we discussed earlier, this was not NSA surveillance. This was secret subpoenas by the Justice Department, secret seizures of phone records of news sources and reporters, which of course was very invasive of the editorial process and actually violated the Justice Department's own guidelines. But the problem with the NSA surveillance is that all the communication records of all Americans are being collected, and so we don't know how much is being matched up between journalists and sources.
And we don't know necessarily if journalists are targeted or if they're just being caught up in the big net.
Right, and we don't know. But that is very worrying to sources. So when I did a report a little while ago in the Obama administration, the press, about all these problems, all the reporters in Washington who deal with any kinds of national security issues were telling me that their sources were just drying up because they didn't know when they were being surveilled or not being surveilled. They didn't know when somebody was searching through their phone records or not. And as a result, they're all worried about getting into trouble or even being prosecuted.
Indeed. The concept of a federal shield law. What are we talking about here?
Many states, in fact, most states in the Union already have shield laws in which reporters, under most circumstances, cannot be forced legally to reveal their sources, confidential sources of information, which is a big protection of the kind of reporting that's necessary for investigative reporting. This bill protects sources' identities in many cases. The federal law would do the same thing for federal law enforcement and for federal cases, which does not exist now. There is no such protection now.
Is there work afoot to get this?
There are bills in Congress to do it. There are questions about how you define who's covered by the legislation, because who constitutes a journalist nowadays. The bill talks about who's covered by the law as opposed to who's a journalist, but that's one issue. And the other issue is the national security exemption. The bill does have a big national security exemption, and some national security reporters tell me, well, that's fine and good for other kinds of reporters dealing with their confidential sources, but it's not going to protect me at all because there's a big exemption for national security. So, for instance, James Rise in the New York Times is still under subpoena to testify in one of these prosecutions we discussed, and if he doesn't testify, he's going to go to prison. It's gone all the way up to the appellate Circuit Court of Appeals so far. It'll probably make its way to the Supreme Court before it's over. He is not protected by a shield law because there's no federal shield law.
Is it a good chance? We'll see. I mean, the congressional debate is out there, I'm sure, but where's the debate going?
There appears to be a consensus in Congress that this is something that ought to pass, but we just have to wait and see. It's been making its way gradually through the Congress. It's supported by most media organizations and by most people who are concerned about government transparency.
A last question on this. Is the press playing catch-up to government surveillance efforts, or is the government playing catch-up to terrorist efforts or nefarious efforts. It seems like technology, we've talked about this
Yes.
earlier, it just seems like everyone's trying to play
Right.
catch up,
Yes.
and things are getting caught in the middle
Right.
here.
Obviously, things are going back and forth between the United States and adversaries, and whether or not we're ahead or behind, I don't know. But I do know the government's way ahead of the media. So actually, reporters now are scrambling to figure out how can they encrypt their emails, how can they use phones differently? Do they have to meet people in underground garages like in Watergate,
Sure.
and so on? So it's the media that's trying to catch up with the government right now.
And the last thing, what do you want folks to take from this forum? What do you want them to know?
I want them to know that the only country in the world with a First Amendment, the government is impinging too much on the freedom of the press, and particularly on the ability of the press to do the kind of investigative reporting that holds government accountable to all of us.
All right, Len, it's good to see you. Thanks for joining us.
See you.
Expand your horizon with the Arizona Horizon website. To get there, go to azpbs.org. Click on the Arizona Horizon tab at the top of the screen. Once there, you can access many features, watch interviews by clicking on the video button. You can also find out what's on Arizona Horizon for the coming week. If you would like an RSS feed, a podcast, or want to buy a video, that's all on the website too. Want to learn about specific topics like immigration or the legislature? You can visit our special web sections. Show your support for Arizona Horizon at azpbs.org/Arizona Horizon.
The city of Tempe is ready to begin construction on a new hydraulically operated dam on the west end of Tempe Town Lake. Work on the new dam is set to begin this summer. Here to talk about the project is Tempe Assistant City Manager Jeff Kulaga. Good to see you again. Thanks for joining me. You betcha. This is this summer. When this summer?
We look to begin site preparation probably in mid-June or so to begin construction of the West Dam on Tempe Town Lake. And so we're right now on the cusp of that construction project, a $40 million project. It's an exciting time in the city of Tempe for us.
Let's talk about this new dam. This is a different dam than the rubber dam before. How does the new dam work?
Absolutely. It is a different dam. First of all, the materials are different. It is a steel-gated, hydraulically operated dam. Our present dam is rubber bladders, essentially big inner tubes. This new dam will be a combination, a system of 8 steel gates that are operated to move up and down by hydraulic cylinders.
And we're seeing kind of fast motion here. This is of the dam going down in case what, like we have a major rainfall or major flood, correct?
Correct. That's what's very important about this dam and the need for the gates. One question we always get is, why don't you just build a concrete wall? Well, that is fine during most of the year when the lake needs to operate like a lake, and the dam on the west side here is there to keep the waters in Tempe Town Lake. But during those events, storm events, where there's flows coming through the Salt River up from Roosevelt Lake and Roosevelt Dam, where there are releases, our Tempe Town Lake has to transform into a river, and that river has to convey the waters through the lake. Therefore, those steel-gated dams need to move up and down. They will operate on a hinge, much like a drawbridge, 8 drawbridges through the lake and the river bottom. And when they move down, the water's able to convey through the river channel.
And we saw a speeded up motion camera there, but as far as how long did it take all the way up to all the way down?
Probably a couple of hours. And
okay.
When there's, we get a good 24-hour notice from SRP when they're releasing waters up at Roosevelt Dam. So we get notice we start lowering the dams to whatever level need be to pass that water, to convey that water through the river channel. And then as those storms subside, we raise them back up again to collect the tailwaters and bring back Tempe Town Lake safely for everybody to use.
Now, how long is this new dam expected to last?
It is steel and concrete with proper maintenance of the hydraulics, good preventive maintenance. We're looking at 50 years.
Is this same kind of dam now in operation elsewhere?
Yes, we looked at Oklahoma City has 3 or 4 dams using the same system. They're smaller. As far as we know right now, this will be the largest steel-gated, hydraulically operated steel-gated dam in the world.
By a long shot or?
Yeah, by enough, I guess.
Yeah,
We haven't really compared, but we know it's large. We haven't really compared by how much. It is large, though. But the fabricator of Oklahoma City's dam, Steel Fab, they did those. They're designing ours. Schuff Steel here in Phoenix will be building them and assembling them. Gannett Fleming, a local engineer, has done the design and engineering. And then PCL, a Tempe contractor, will be doing the construction. So there's a hometown organizations here designing, building the dam.
And this is going to be built 100 feet west of where the old dam was, is that correct?
That's absolutely correct, Ted. The existing dam is under the pedestrian bridge, which is enjoyed by a lot of people recreating around Tempe Town Lake, right there at the door of Tempe Center for the Arts. The new dam will be 100 feet west of there. We did that for 3 reasons. One, simply needed a little bit more space to convey the water with the new dam. So that it was achieved moving it 100 feet west. Secondly, we're able to use the existing rubber bladder dam to hold the waters in of Tempe Town Lake. So the new steel-gated dam is built on dry land, therefore saving a bit of money and time. And then lastly, once it's complete, the waters of Tempe Town Lake will extend another 100 feet west. So if you're walking across, riding your bicycle across the pedestrian bridge, you have water on both sides now.
And when you mention the fact that it's going to be built on dry land west of this other bridge, does that also mean that the lake doesn't have to be drained, doesn't have to be messed with all that much?
Absolutely correct. When we're building this new dam, the existing rubber bladder dam will be there, protecting the construction site and project from the lake waters.
How will a construction impact the lake in general?
Well, it's going to, moving a lake 100 feet west, it's going to be a little bit bigger. The construction itself, during the construction over about the next 18 months, minimal impact to the lake itself. However, we do need to relocate a storm drain pipe. So the pedestrian path right there at the Tempe Center for the Arts will be detoured around the Center for the Arts for a period of time. Our goal is to keep the bridge open.
Okay, so minimal impact. Of course, what you're at down there, bird watch. You're not going to see too many birds probably hanging around with all the construction going on.
Surprisingly, those herons, they don't like to move. They're pretty tough.
And they seem to be always. For those who are relatively new here, why is this new dam necessary? Give us the story, if you can, quickly, of the old dam.
Very quickly, about 10 years, in 2010, almost 4 years ago, we had a rupture of one of the bladders. It drained the lake on a Tuesday night on July 20th. Since then, we have an agreement with Bridgestone, the manufacturer of the rubber bladders. Essentially, they're rentals. We have them for a 5-year period. After that 5-year period, we're looking at a permanent replacement. The permanent replacement is the steel-gated dams.
And this is the west end. What's going on at the east end? I think most folks don't even realize what's happening on that side.
The east side of the lake is managing the waters well. There's not an issue there right now. We're focusing all our attention on completing this west dam for the community and for the city of Tempe by December of 2015.
But how does it work on the east end? Is there a dam?
There is a dam, but the waters essentially hit a shoreline there because the river bottom is higher on the east end than on the west end, about 20 feet or so, plus or minus. So we collect the waters on the west end, and much like a shore of a lake or the ocean, it just fades to a couple of feet on the east end.
Till as far as it can go.
As far as it could go, yes.
You mentioned 41 million here. How is this going to be paid for?
We're using bond funding, some cash, cash that we have as part of the project. It's all in our 5-year capital improvement program. It's been planned for, budgeted by our city council through their leadership. And again, the goal is to get it done by December 2015.
So that's all been budgeted, all been ready. And,
Right. We've been planning for this since prior to 2010. So
we got about 30 seconds left. The importance of Tempe Town Lake to Tempe.
it had 3 purposes: flood control, recreation, and economic development. A good example of the economic development right now is the State Farm complex going up on the South Shore there near ASU. So.
All right. Well, good luck on it. I guess
Thank
we'll all
you.
be down there watching the construction and the birds and the whole 9 yards. And
It's an exciting time.
should be finished by the end of next year?
December of 2015, yes.
All right. Good to have you here. Thanks for
Thank
joining
you.
us. The Phoenix Convention Center recently hosted the 8th annual Border Security Expo. The 2-day event attracted law enforcement officials, policymakers, and vendors. Producer Christina Estes and photographer Juan Magana stopped by the exhibit hall where it seemed no move went unnoticed.
It offers night vision capability.
We do people counting, reverse flow detection.
We count the individuals on a 15-minute increment.
Among more than 100 companies showing off their latest tools,
Now this is called the Dragon Runner 20.
it was a small, quiet booth that really caught our eyes.
We're showing the premier facial recognition software.
Cognitech Systems is a German company with a powerful reach.
It's being used in airports, around the world. The camera captures your face, and it's using pattern technology to look at this part of your face, just above your eyebrow to just above your lip, and there's patterns and contours within your face, just like a fingerprint.
From a single image, Haskins says they can determine with a degree of certainty your race, gender, and age within about 5 years. They can verify you're the person on your passport or driver's license, or run your face through a watch list or a suspect database. When it comes to more challenging pictures,
Running recognition right now, we still have enough from the face to come up with a hit, but that's generally not good enough.
they put a 2D image into a 3D recognition level to generate some facial characteristics.
And with that information, we now have, a matchup of a suspect at this point.
They collect location information too. If a person's showing up somewhere more often than usual, Haskins says they can alert police.
So when we're talking about facial recognition, we're not talking about anything that a human can't do. We're just making it faster, quicker, and more reliable.
This is used to surveil large areas of the border.
New York-based Telephonics already has more than 20 truck-mounted systems along our southern border. This is their latest model.
He's got maps of the local area on his computer. He can expand, he can zoom in on certain areas right down to a street level, right down to a house level. He can actually see what's going on.
The mast can reach 30 feet high with cameras that can track people 10 miles away.
We have found that we have numerous international opportunities for this. As you well know, there's lots and lots of borders around the world with lots and lots of people that don't like each other.
For those who don't like the possible invasion of privacy, Battaglia says,
You can't have it both ways. The system is built to defend the people. And in order to do that, you have to have a knowledge of what's going on in the area. And the only way you can do that is through some of the electronic devices that we have.
In 1996, Swedish company Axis Communications became the first to release a surveillance camera that could transmit data through the internet.
The way that it's used, has to be purposeful. I don't know that it needs to be regulated. Certainly, I wouldn't say it needs to be regulated, but it has to be, done in a way that respects people's privacy. If people can use technology, not just cameras, to make their environment safer, they're generally in favor of it.
Safety's not the only selling point. Retailers are using it to save and make money.
If a shopkeeper comes in, security receives the alert. If it's a VIP, concierge or buyer's assistant may receive that notice.
Businesses also like to break down the demographics so they can figure out who's shopping when and where they're spending the most time.
I was asked, what do you see this in 10 years? I can't tell you where it's going to be in 6 months. The technology is so evolving and so advancing that with our company and what we're doing, I'm amazed 6 months from now what we're going to be releasing.
Axis Communications says it likes to partner with young, innovative minds at universities when researching and developing new technological ideas. Tomorrow on Arizona Horizon, it's our weekly look at state politics with the Arizona Capital Times, and we'll hear about efforts to improve American Indian education. That's tomorrow at 5:30 and 10 on the next Arizona Horizon. Reminder, if you want to check out our website, see previous programming, or check out what we have in store for the remainder of the week and the month, you might want to check us out at azpbs.org/horizon. azpbs.org/horizon. That is it for now. I'm Ted Simons. Thank you so much for joining us. You have a great evening.
Arizona Horizon is made possible by contributions from the Friends of 8, members of your Arizona PBS station. Thank you.